morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a little bit of a look at the $34,000 Lily card. Yeah. There is a $34,000 Lily card. You see, I like to look at various random things over on the old interwebs, and I decided to have a little bit of a look this morning at the most expensive Sun and Moon era promos over in Japan. The most expensive Sun and Moon Japanese promos. And oh my word, there is a clear winner. The winner, by a mile, is this Lily, which is currently listed for 4,780,000 yen, which comes in at $33,737, which I feel comfortable rounding up to $34,000. Now, you might be thinking, all right, Wassy, what's number two? Full Art Zekrom. Full Art Zekrom is coming in at 250,000 yen, 478,000. So, yeah, okay, fine. It is quite a bit cheaper, honestly. But it is still coming in at $3,375, so that's not exactly too cheap. Although, as a side note here, this is actually a little bit of a lie. So I'm looking at shops over in Japan and what they're actually listing. Obviously, well, if you know the story behind the Zekrom, Full Art Zekrom was actually given out as a trophy card for a sealed tournament over in Japan. But actually, like, the full art was something like top 4, and it was only the winner that got the Zekrom, and there's only, I think, 100 of them. So that's a little bit special. They just have none of them for sale. That is potentially going to challenge the Lily here, although I don't think it gets actually that close, to be fair. But still a very, very expensive card. But the point is, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Lily. And now there is a story behind the Lily and why it's so expensive, and it's actually a similar kind of thing. Because this is not a card that was actually readily available over in Japan. Now, one thing that's kind of adorable, the lovely Primal Lugia, he of Poker Guardian, wrote an article 4 years ago, October 2019, saying that this Lily had sold for $1,400, which seemed expensive at the time. It's now a $34,000 card. If you can go back in time, if you've got a time machine, and for some reason you can't go back earlier than 2019, go pick up this Lily for $1,400, would ya? Because that is an absolute steal. Actually, to be fair, that was pretty much on release. It was selling for that much. So, yeah. And here's the thing. It was kind of awkward. Because this was basically made available at events in Japan. They were, well, what Japan calls extra regulation, what we would call expanded. And basically, you either had to win an 8-man tournament or win a rock, paper, scissors challenge, and you would get a pack with either Ace Roller, Guzma, or Lily. Except it wasn't actually that simple. Now, in theory, you had a 1 in 3 chance of getting the Lily, a 1 in 3 chance of getting the Guzma, and a 1 in 3 chance of getting the Ace Roller. In theory, that's the deal here. That's not actually how it ended up going. Because you see, the lovely Primal Lugia also shared this image with us, and yeah, it's really, 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 really clear that these packs are searchable. Like, no ifs, buts, or maybes. There's literally proof on the screen. It is very, very clear you can search these packs. By shining a torch through them, you can figure out which one is in there. So you can figure out if it's a Lily, the Ace Roller, or the Guzma. And look, I know we're sitting here 4 years in the future, and some people are probably going, but how did you... We knew. We knew, ladies and gentlemen, it was very, very obvious. Lily is that gosh darn popular. This was always going to be the case. It was always going to be Lily. And look, I would love to live in a world where actually, you know what, no one's going to search these, they're all going to be given out randomly. That's not where we are. Obviously, these were searched, and obviously, the Lily was not made available to everybody. There were unfortunately, and I know this sucks, but this is the reality of the situation, there were a lot of people over in Japan who won the rock, paper, scissors challenge or won the tournament and had absolutely no chance whatsoever of getting this Lily. It was never happening. It could not happen. Yeah, that's rubbish, frankly. Honestly, that is absolutely rubbish. But that's where we are. And for that reason, the Lily became even worse, because a lot of people couldn't get hold of it at these tournaments because it was only available in these packs, and these packs were being searched. And then this is where we ended up. And yes, it's not ideal, frankly, but that's where we are. For a point of comparison, there is a Guzma which is listed on the website as well for 400,000 yen. And that's not nothing, incidentally. It is less than the full art Zekrom. 400,000 yen is $2,800 roughly. So that's not terrible. But compared to the Lily, it basically is near enough nothing. Like, if we do it as a percentage, it is 8% of the price of Lily. The Guzma is worth 8% of what the Lily is worth. Now, the good news is the Ace Roller is also a ridiculously expensive card. The Ace Roller, the last one that was available on the website I'm looking at, was sold for 4,300,000 yen. Which is actually not that far off the Lily. We're talking about 30,350, so kind of round it down to 30,000. It's not up there with Lily, but it's still over 30k. That's still pretty good. For what it's worth, there is a Rainbow Rare Zekrom that was sold on the website for 3,800,000 yen. So here you're talking, well, let's just round it quickly to 27,000. It's 26,820, but it's round it to 27,000. So when I told you that the Zekrom wasn't actually there alongside the Lily, I meant it. It's not there on the same level. But again, these are all like $30,000-ish promos. These are all ridiculous. But let's be perfectly clear, they don't get up to Lily. And that's essentially the answer of why the Lily's so ridiculous. Now, the Ace Roller is also very, very popular. But I'm going to level with you, right? We all knew this going in. We all knew there was going to be a clear and obvious ranking. We all knew that the ranking was going to be number 1, Lily, number 2, Ace Roller, number 3, Guzma. And all I can give you is anecdotal evidence, so please feel free to disregard if you don't believe it. But I heard plenty of stories at the time of, well, a suspiciously large number of people only managing to get Guzma from these packs. Now, like I've said, Guzma is 8% of Lily. That's not ideal, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Ace Roller is at least 90% of Lily. I mean, Lily still wins by a mile, but at least you've got like 90%. Again, we've got a bit of rounding going on here. But basically, you got Lily, and then you got Ace Roller, which is 90% of Lily, and then Guzma, which is 8% of Lily. These promos were not created equal, and they were put in packs that were searchable, and that's basically your answer here. Why is Lily a $34,000 card? Firstly, because it's Lily, and Lily's ridiculously popular. Secondly, because it was only made available as a prize at these tournaments, so it's quite limited. Thirdly, the packs were absolutely searchable, so a lot of the Lilies got kind of taken out before they were even made available. And you add all that up together, and you end up with the most expensive of the Sun and Moon era promos. Nothing beats it. Like I've said, there are others available. The Hyper Rare, the Rainbow Rare Zekrom's kind of ridiculous. And the Ace Roller is also kind of ridiculous. There are some ridiculous cards around, but I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, nothing else even gets really close. Sorry about that. But now I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me if you've got this card somehow. Tell me if you would pay $34,000 for it. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And of course, get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Kiridan, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.